a special treat for you here on this Monday morning, live via Skype. We have an Autism Mom Blogger. Her blog is Family and Autism, subtitled The Roller Coaster Journey of Raising Autistic Children. During the break, we got her on Skype and I asked her how to say her name, and it was determined that I was going to mess it up. But I'm going to take a stab at her nickname, which is Ragga. And I'm sure I got that wrong. Ragga, are you with us?
Yes,
and you are. I can see you. There you are. So tell me, how do I actually say your name? What is your name?
My full name?
Whatever you'd like to tell us.
Well, most people call me by my nickname, and I say it in Icelandic. I would say it Ragga.
Okay. So I'm not even close. And but in any case, thank you for being with us. You are coming to us live from Denmark. What time is it there?
It's 7:30 p.m.
Okay, so it's 10:30 our time, 7:30 at night your time, and you were saying that your husband is just getting the boys off to bed right now. Is that right?
Yes.
And you have two children. Tell us about your sons.
Yes, I have two sons. The older one, he turned 5 in February, and he's a little cutie. And then I have another boy who is turning 3 very soon, we got them both diagnosed with autism within the past year, so it's all pretty new to us still.
Well, I have to say, you're doing really well for somebody who's new to this journey. You have a wonderful blog that we want to tell people about. They can go to it at www.familyandautism.com, and you spell out the and. And as I said, the subtitle is The Roller Coaster Journey of Raising Autistic Children. This is a lovely blog. How long ago did you start it?
Well, I started it in February, actually. It was actually my husband's idea. It was kind of funny. We got the news about our older son in late September. Mm-hmm. And understandably, we were kind of crushed. It came as a complete surprise. We'd never even, it had never occurred to us even that this was a possibility, and even when in the diagnosis process they were saying that this is something that they wanted to look into, we were like, sure, whatever. We're sure it's not that. So it came as a huge shock, and I think it was in December that my husband first mentioned it to me that I should do it, that I should actually go and make a blog and just blog about our experience. And at first I was actually a bit skeptical. I wasn't sure if I was willing, and just, I don't know, I wasn't really sure that I wanted to open up in that way and just let everyone in on what was happening with us. And it's kind of personal and all that, so you probably all know that. But as I thought more about it, and he was always encouraging me to do it, eventually I thought, what the heck, why not?
You're a beautiful writer, and one of the blogs that really caught my interest, for Autism Awareness Day, you wrote the 10 myths about autism, the top 10 myths, and that's something that we talk about on the show all the time, because there's so many myths out there that we're all trying to dispel on a daily basis that make a difference of how the world interacts with our kids. Yeah. And I thought your 10 myths were absolutely brilliant, and you write a little bit about them. What's your favorite blog that you've written to date?
Well, there are a few, because some of the posts or blogs that I make, they're kind of basic, more like informative. Mm-hmm. But then there are others where I'm kind of, digging deep into the feelings that come with all this roller coaster. Yeah, let's say that. Yeah. So, for me, actually, one of the first ones, it's the post, I think it's called The Verdict, Your Son is Autistic.
Yeah.
One was really emotional for me. I was actually crying when I was writing it. And so, I guess I would have to say that one.
And I have to say, I think that's one of the reasons why your blog is very successful. A lot of people are reading it right now because it is a wonderful mix of information and this really honest sharing about what this journey is like, which is a wonderful thing for all of us to be able to share with you and relate with you to what it's like.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's an absolutely beautiful blog. So tell me a little bit about when you said that you went to the doctor with your son. What kinds of things were you seeing that got you to the doctor's office, but that you still weren't thinking you were in the neighborhood of autism?
Yeah, well, to begin with, it was actually not our initiative. It was, I mean, we're Icelandic, and which is a tiny country in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We are only like 300,000 people that live there. So we decided to go abroad to do our graduate studies. Mm-hmm. And so we moved to Denmark, and as a second language, our older son was having problems adjusting to that, and he was not catching the language as fast as normally would be expected. So the kindergarten actually started mentioning things that maybe we should talk to a language therapist or like a speech therapist. Mm-hmm. And so it started there, and then she was seeing something when we met her a few times. She was seeing some signs that she wanted a psychologist to take a look at, and so it kind of like automatically went there. And we actually always knew that there was something, but we maybe thought it would be like ADD or something in that area. We never. I mean, he was born prematurely. We kind of always blamed everything on that. Mm-hmm. And also because he has low muscle tone, mm-hmm. which is actually, now that I know that he has autism, is actually quite common for autistic kids, but it's actually also quite common for children who are born prematurely. Mm-hmm. So we kind of always blamed just everything that we heard on that. I mean, if he has low muscle tone, it's also more difficult for him to use his muscles in his mouth and cheek. So it started there. And then when they suggested that we would have him looked at more thoroughly, we were like, sure, why not? We've always been very open to getting everything checked. And so we were just, whatever, I mean, great, perfect. Then we know, and then we can exclude things, and then we know what it is, and we can work with that. Yeah, so that's how it happened.
Well, so brave. I mean, I can't even imagine, with all the things that you have going on, that you're a graduate student, you're a mom of 2 kids, and 2 kids fairly recently diagnosed with autism, and you've got time to write a blog. You must have a lot of energy.
Oh my, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of people who do lots of things and no one pays attention to it. I mean, I guess I just don't clean the house as much or something.
Well, that's okay. That's all right, because I'm not cleaning my house either. So we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and talk more with Ragga. Am I even close?
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to talk about what autism is like in her area of the world. So stick with us. We're going to be back in just a minute. Welcome back to Autism Live. We are in the middle of a conversation with a wonderful mom blogger whose name is harder for me to say than I want to try, but I'm going to have her say it. But her blog is Families and Autism, and it is a wonderful blog. It's a fairly new blog that she's only been doing in this past year. 2 children on the spectrum. She is a graduate student. She's living in a foreign country, and English is not her first language. So I was just saying to her during the break, you're doing so much better than I would be doing. But tell us how to pronounce your name again.
Yeah, my nickname is pronounced Ragga.
Okay. And now everybody understands why I'm not even trying to say it, because I'm chicken. In any case, so we talked a little bit about how you ended up getting your first child to the doctors to be diagnosed. And then at that point, when you got the diagnosis of autism, which was devastating, at what point did you decide to have your younger son looked at?
Yeah, actually, I mean, sure, like I said earlier, it was really, really shocking to get the news for our older son, because it was so far away from what we'd ever dreamed was the case. So we got the news, and actually it was a bit rough, the way we were delivered the news. And so afterwards we kind of like went home, and I mean, we were very much in denial, and we weren't really like acknowledging the signs that were there. And now I can see them, and now I can understand why he got the diagnosis. But it was really, really difficult. So we went home, and actually for the next few days, the only thing that we were doing was just going online, trying to Google everything on autism. We actually knew not that much. I mean, I think I had a pretty wrong image of it, and that's also why I decided to do the blog that you talked about earlier, the one with the myths, because I actually had a lot of wrong assumptions about autism. And so we went online, and we were pretty much trying to find something to disprove that our son was autistic. And so we were really much reading, and just like all our focus went into that. And yes, kind of separately, both of us started to like thinking, okay, this actually doesn't really fit to our older boy, but it actually fits to our younger son. And so the more we read, the more afraid we became that this might not only be true for our older boy, but also our younger son. And then I think it was like in like 5 days after my husband approached me, he was like, you know, I'm actually starting to think that our younger son might have it too. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm thinking the same. And that was pretty hard. And I mean, yes, we were kind of convinced pretty soon afterwards. I mean, the older one has the signs, but he's also very open, outgoing, and he speaks, although he's not developing as fast as maybe typically developing kids. He still does speak and can express himself and all that, and he's very open, and he loves to be around people. So he has a lot of qualities that are maybe not necessarily typical for autistic kids. But the younger one, he's nonverbal, and yeah, there's a lot more like typical signs, so to say. Shocked that, and we just actually decided to just go and press it. To press him to be diagnosed as soon as possible.
Which is great that you're getting that early diagnosis. And so tell me a little bit about, because you're from Iceland, but you are in Denmark, and yes. Denmark is where you got the diagnosis.
Yeah.
So what is autism like in Denmark?
Well, Denmark has a reputation of being one of the best countries to live in terms of the social system. So we were, like, first after we got the diagnosis, we were pretty much like saying, wow, what a lucky thing that we actually live here. And I actually think that they're much faster in the diagnosis process here in Denmark than they are in Iceland. However, we actually became a little surprised with a few things here. And I mean, I guess there's always something to complain about everywhere.
I'm sure. But,
yeah.
But you know, as a parent, you're entitled. So are you getting help?
We are now. Okay. But the thing is that in the beginning, we had to actually wait for almost, yeah, just over half a year for our older boy to get into a special institution. And until then, he only had 7 hours of support per week. So that was not that much. And we were, of course, trying our best at home, but we didn't really get any support so we were just kind of like doing things that we thought would be good for him. And yeah, so when he finally got into a special institution, and they always have like these special institutions here, it's actually like a normal kindergarten, and then there's a little department where there are 6 kids and 4 employees. So it's not one-on-one, but it's still like
high ratio.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been such a different situation. But here everything is based on teach. Do you say it that way?
Teach.
Yeah, teach. The TEACH. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And as we started to read more about it, we actually wanted to get our boys into ABA. And that is possible in Iceland, and it's not possible in Denmark.
Interesting.
So, yes, and so actually it was just 1 month ago that our younger son also got into the same institution that our older son is in. So that's a huge improvement. Now both of them are in a special institution. It's so much better than it was, but it's still not quite where we want it to be. So we decided that we will be moving back to Iceland in the fall when we've finished our graduate studies.
Well, I wish you guys nothing but the best. I thank you so much for being with us, and we love your blog. Want to remind everybody how they can get to it, www.familiesandautism. If I got that right, I got to bring it back up.
Family and
autism. I'm saying the IES, but it's not. Familieandautism.com. And the subtitle is The Roller Coaster Journey of Raising Autistic Children. I also love you're very honest. You write about marriage and what it's like to be going through this, but it sounds like you guys have a lot of really good things going on for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he's pretty amazing.
Well, you're pretty amazing too. I just want some of your energy, but I think it's all I think it might be partially about being young, and there's nothing I can do about that anymore. So, but we applaud you, and we hope that more and more people are going to go and read your blog, familieandautism.com. And maybe once you guys get settled back at home in Iceland, we can tune back in with you and see how things are going.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I would love that.
Thank you so much, and hopefully you'll have time before they go to sleep to go in and snuggle with the boys and read to them, because I know it's nighttime where you are.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I'm very honored.
Well, we're honored to have you, and keep up the good work. We'll be following your blog.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.